Wait. Zoom record. Yeah, very good. Okay, so do you have any recall from
from this one, right? 22.
from the end of the third chapter?
Yeah, okay. We talked about the limbs of the non-devotee and the golden crown. And what's the use if you bow down and it will aggravate you? And then the internal nature of bhakta does not transform. And then Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, in few days, if you chant well, like in few days, you can be okay. But sometimes we are taking the whole lifetime and we are not doing well. And the reason for that is namabhas, because we are on the lesser offensive stage and then offensive and the pure. So in one way, like we have to be very careful about our chanting process, right? And then the good Kanista Adhikari, we talked about them. They can do good chanting, and there's no scope of nam aprad in there, like, and we are nobody to judge anybody. And symptoms would be like the hairs of the body standing on still, and then the eyes getting watery and stuff like that. But even then, so only the pure devotees, they can see that, not everybody. And Nisabandha, your heart is hard and there's no emotions. And Sadvika Bhav, you may have tears. It's Nisadvika Bhav, right? You cannot judge. Some do not display it. Only pure devotees can recognize it. That's what I said. Nibatsra, envy. Envy is the worst thing in our devotional service. We cannot go far without with envy. Envy will block us from doing Krishna consciousness. So we must be very careful of not doing envy to anybody. And the remedy will be to continue chanting, and then go to the devotee and ask for forgiveness, or do service for them, go and wash their clothes, do something for them. That's what Vishwanath Thakur said.
Yeah.
And Badish was like a fish hook in the heart.
Definitely.
And the mind is made of iron. Abbas was the subbalance of Bhav. And fish hook is like a deceitfulness or crooked. Like if we are doing that.
Yes.
So we have to weed out this weed from our mind. And then we talked about the Shonaka Achyuta Goswami, like he was always propelling him to talk from 14 to 25, about 11 verses in the end. And there was text 17 was the key shloka. What is the use if you don't utilize in Krishna service? If you want to live long and don't utilize your time in Krishna service, then your life is not worth living that long. And a great deal of bhakti and quite death is sparring. Just speak, and then in the very end, it was just speak like your guru. Like that was from Shonaka Sutta, right? And there's a speaker and a hearer. So,
Okay.
and all in all, in chapter 3, we learned about the Krama Mukta, the Virat form, and the Labha, the Labha Pashanti.
Yeah,
With control mind and worship the Vishnu, and the Virat, and Bhakti, and to demigod worship too, and superiority of Shonaka. That's the epitome of Hira, and he's a model of the Hira. So that sums up chapter 3 for me.
Okay, that's wonderful. So here, chapter 4, basically untitled The Process of Creation.
Oh.
And we're going to see a lot of things also. In the beginning, it's going to be a sutta. Because he has been questioned by Shunaka, so now he's going to start describing what's next. And he's going to talk a lot about Parikshit Maharaj. Obviously, for 3 chapters already, Parikshit Maharaj has heard Shukdev. So now he's quite edified to what is the goal of life. We heard already one of the key verse in chapter 3, Akama Savakamova Mokshakama Udaradi, Tivena Bhakti Yogena Yajitam Purusham Param. Whoever you are, Tivena Bhakti, your Bhakti should be extremely high pointed. Even if you are infested with material desires, still you should worship Krishna. And this way you will get purified. So, and of course, very soon we're going to see also Parikshit Maharaj. He was already detached from birth. But what to speak now, he has heard from Shukdev 3 chapters already. So, culminating in Bhakti and pure Bhakti. So that makes him even more detached. And then he's going to ask from 6 onwards, he's going to ask about Sarga. Sarga in Sanskrit means creation. Let me write it down for you. The chat is here. Sarga. It's one of the topics of the Bhagavatam. It's a verse. 210.1. Shri Shukravacha Atra Sarga Visargascha Poshanam Uttayaha Manvantara Ishanukata Mukti Nirodha Ashrayaha. These are the 10 topics. That's why Bhagavatam is considered Mahapuran, because it's got 10 topics. A regular Puran has 5 topics, but Bhagavatam has 10. Just like Vishnu Puran also has 10. So that makes them Mahapuran. And that is the first actually topic, is Sarga. So you can see from 6 onwards, Parikshit is going to ask about Sarga. It's quite very lofty, how he engages his energies, how he expands himself. There's going to be some great verse there. And then at the end of the day, he's going to pray. At the end of the chapter, he's going to pray. Shukadev is going to pray because he wants to be empowered to start telling Bhagavatam. You have to be empowered. That is why we sing so many prayers to pray for mercy. Bhagavatam is very lofty. You cannot discuss like this erratically, out of your mind. No, you have to be extremely transparent and pray. It's not easy, Bhagavatam. So this is what it is. This is basically we are entering now. Okay, so let's get into it. 241. Sutta Uvach Vayesa Keriti Vachas Tadvanishchayamatsah Upadharyamatim Krishne Otarya Satim Vyadhat.
Okay. Sutta Goswami said, Parikshit Maharaj, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Sukadev Goswami, which were all about the truth of self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Krishna. So here in this purport, Prabhupada is narrating that Satim, the word Satim is very significant, and it means existence. And then here he's talking about Parikshit Maharaj, how he was he was doing all the devotional service on the lotus feet of Krishna from the very childhood, from the time like he was in his mother's womb when that weapon, Brahmastra, whatever, the Brahmastra, atomic bomb was released by Ashwatthama, and then Lord Krishna came and saved him. And from that time, like, he was always in this devotional service of the Lord. And then there was two of these things, like to become a pure devotee. He was born in a devotee family. He was blessed for that, and then blessings from a bona fide spiritual master. So he was blessed with both of the things in his
Exactly.
life.
This is the
So, but there was one thing, yeah, Prabhu, I wanted to ask you a question.
yeah.
He said that, okay, when he was in the womb, he didn't get burned. But I thought I heard somewhere that he had a new body, like he was burned, but it was transformed into a new body.
Yeah, so it's very true. You will see in the third canto, Prabhupada explained like that. So it's a bit peculiar. When we come to that verse, it's in the next canto, we'll look it up, what the Acharyas have to say. Otherwise, I will ask Kanai Krishna Prabhu. Because I read both. Prabhupada says in the first and even now in the second, he's saying he was saved at the last minute, but in the third canto, it's mentioned Krishna even had to give him another fresh body. I mean, fetus.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
No. So it's peculiar to me. When we come to that verse, remind me, we'll investigate.
Okay.
So we should remember also that at the very end of the first canto, 1935, I believe, Maharaj Parikshit inquired about the duties at the time of death. So we should always keep that in mind because that's the key question. Everyone's going to die. So that concerns everyone. I think it's 1936, exactly.
1936?
1936, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Of course, we already touched up on this answer way back, I think it's 215. Shukadev, right on the T, he answers. Let me see, I think it's 215. I think that's what it says. Yes, Tasmat Bharat Savatma Bhagavan Ishvaru Hari. Protavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyas Chechatabayam. So this is the answer. O descendant of King Bharat, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, controller and the savior from all miseries. So that's the answer. And of course, in the first chapter, the Virat was explained. Why? Because so many reasons, but one reason is so that Parikshit could renounce the world, because he understands he's already renounced, we know. But he's going to be more renounced because he heard about the Virat. Then in chapter 3, we heard about that key verse. Whatever your level, Savakam, Mokshakam, Akam, you worship Krishna. Tivrena, with focused type of bhakti. Like Ganga, you have seen Ganga Ma, forcibly she rushes towards the sea. There's a verse in by Queen Kunti that, please, my dear Lord, make my bhakti forceful like Ganga. Ganga is not blocked. If there is an obstacle, a big rock, she will go around it. So Mother Kunti prays like this. I've been to Gomukh personally 20 years ago, perhaps 25 years ago. This is the source of Ganga, and it's quite remarkable. Gomukh, mukh means the mouth. So it's like the mouth of a goat. Of a goat means cow. You see the Ganga bursting forth. It's extremely spectacular. So now Shunaka, at the end of the third chapter, is speaking forcibly to those fools we have discussed with turbans and gold bangles. They don't bow down, so that's going to aggravate their fall down. So he's pushing them to hear Krishna Katha, Halayana Manukirtanam, we discussed. So we have an expiry date on our life. We should always remember, just like you buy a product, there's an expiry date. In the same way, we have an expiry date. We are just a product of material nature. Yeah, so one, I think you answer very aptly. And we could even say that way back, Prabhupada talks about the Brahmastra. Remember, he was struck by the man. At least Ashwatthama heard the Brahmastra, but in one sense, he's blessing in disguise, because why? Why do you think the Brahmastra was a blessing actually?
Brahmastra was a blessing.
Because number one, that enticed him to see Krishna. Krishna wouldn't have come otherwise. And that is why later he's called Parikshit. Parikshit means the examiner. He's always examining around. Who is it the one that I saw in the womb? So that was in one sense a blessing in disguise. He saw Krishna, can imagine, in the womb of his mother. That's unheard of. So Matim Krishna here, Sutta is speaking to the sages, and he's saying, yes, this king is Matim Krishna. There's a saying, Krishna Matirastu. Matir means intelligence. Let your intelligence be fixed on Krishna. So from birth, Parikshit is on that level. From birth, he's a Mahabhagavat. Tasmadika Manasa. So this is what it is, huh?
Yes.
So here in one, it says Akam Savakamuva. Is it in one? I'm a little confused here.
No, there's no
That's
Akam
not
here.
there. So in other words, Parikshit understood the conclusion. Practically speaking, even Bhagavatam is just about to start now. Shukadeva has just started to speak in this canto, but beforehand, Parikshit Maharaj is so advanced, he has understood the conclusion. And he knows the goal of life is Krishna. So already he knows. Even before being imparted the knowledge. So this is a remarkable level. This is totally unheard of. See, it says te. Can you see in one? I think it's there. Te. That by you, pumsam shrotavyadishu. No, it's not. It's funny. I'm not in the right verse or something.
I know, Prabhu.
Oh yeah, I think I'm confusing with 211.
We are on 241.
Yeah. But I'm referring, I'm a little sick today, so.
Okay, that's okay.
So what happened is, yeah, I was thinking of 211, I got mixed up. In 211, it says, Variyan Eshate Prashna. So means you, Shukadev is saying in 211, your question is glorious, is telling Parikshit, because Parikshit asked beforehand at 1936, please tell me I'm about to die. So it's relevant because everyone's going to die. It says Pumsam Shrotavyadishu. People are engaged in all kinds of healing all day. You have seen at work, they talk Prajalpa nonsense. They go smoke a cigarette. They go on vacation. They watch TV. It's all nonsense. Varieties of subject matters, you know. But Parikshit knows better. He asked about my duty about to die. This is very pertinent. Lokahitam, it's Lokahitam means for the welfare of all. And again, now I'm coming to 241. This is corroborated here. Matim Satim. Matim Satim means he's very pure, this person, very chaste. He exists as a chaste person. He became more fixed even by listening to Shuka, of course, but even from birth, is Matim Satim. It's a beautiful quality. So let's see if I've got anything from Vishwanath. Yeah, Vishwanath is kind of reminding us that later, as I told you, we're going to hear about Sarga, the creation, and we're going to hear about that conversation you will see between father and son, Brahma and Narad. So
Okay.
that's coming. That's a beautiful section you will see. It's quite lofty but beautiful. 2 Atma Jaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandushu Rajye Chavikare Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jaho.
Okay. Oh,
That's 2.
one sec. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his disputed kingdom. So here it says like Maharaj Parikshit, he had given everything in one go, right? When he was cursed, and very happily he did it, and that's how in our lives we are supposed to disown anything that we have, like no attachment. The main thing is attachment. We should not have attachment to anything. No bank balance, nothing. No family, household, nothing that we have.
Is it easy for you, Mataji, to do that?
No, it's very hard. I can't even think of it. I can only read here, but I don't think so. Even then, you know what, our lives, because even we live in Canada, the you know, our everything we need to survive on. If we give up everything, you think the temple will keep us? Like if we give everything that we have, sell the house and give it to temple.
It's
So
not
tomorrow will the
advisable.
temple keep us? No.
It's not advisable at all.
Yeah. So at that time it was okay, right? I don't know, like it was the best times and it happened. But we cannot do that in these times.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody that has done it.
Yeah, actually, if you're brahmachari, that's fine because you need some toothpaste, they will buy it. You need a pair of pants, they will buy it. You need to go and preach, they will give you a car. Sometimes they will even pay your tickets to India. So because that's your varna, but you know, as at your age and your position, it's not advisable. The main thing is to dovetail your life to Krishna, you know. Just like 927 Gita, Madarpanam, whatever you do, Yad Karoshi, Yad Ashnashi, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, Madarpanam as an offering, offer it to me. So the main reminder here in 2, did you see first line, Dehatma Buddhi? Srila Prabhupada very, very often use that term, Dehatma Buddhi. What's the meaning? Dehatma Buddhi.
Okay, Dehatma Buddhi.
In the beginning of the purport.
Oh, yeah, I got it. But the illusory attachment for personal bodily covering and everything connected with the body, namely wife, children, and everything, right? Entanglement.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, because look at Maharaj Parikshit, he was from birth, he was Krishna conscious.
Indeed.
And remember, he got cursed, he was already about 60. So for 60 years, he was already a pure devotee. And of course, we will see very soon, he was involved in Kamakandiya activities. As a king, he had to perform sacrifices. And now, by the grace of Shukdev, he understood even that is useless. So, but at least he was pretty much detached from, even though he was a king, an emperor, but in his consciousness, he understood this is my wife, okay, but I'm taking care of her, but she's not mine. Those kids are not mine. I'm just the caretaker. This is the mentality of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He had 14 kids. Can we beat Bhaktivinoda Thakur with 2, 3? He had 14, 1, 4. And he was Mahakrishna conscious. So he never rejected his kids, but he was acting as a supermodel of a devotee, Yukta Vairagya, engaging everything. And okay, this is my team. I'm going to engage them in Krishna consciousness. Finish. So Krishna mentions that in at Kurukshetra, you will see in the Bhagavatam much later, in the 10th canto. He speaks to at the Kurukshetra solar eclipse, and he says, Yajatma buddhi kunape tridatuke. This is the problem of our buddhi, of our intelligence. We are turned towards the body. Dehatma buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence, but Dehatma buddhi means towards the body. If you want, the purpose of life should be the contrary, like buddhiyo, you should be thinking of Krishna, of his qualities. But it's hard to get rid of that. Krishna explained in that verse 1084:13 that, and the body we know, it treats Dhatu in Ayurveda, perhaps you know, Kapha, Pitta, and there's three Dhatu, Kapha, Pitta, and Vayu, bile, mucus, and air, I think. And automatically, what's the continuation of that? Kalatradishu, you end up marrying, and you identify Bhoma Ijyatihi. Oh, I live in Canada, I'm born in Canada, I'm born in Fiji, I'm born in France. We tend to identify with the place of birth. Not only that, Asia, we worship even. Some people worship their place of birth. And now you may find people say, okay, I understand, we should go to the place of pilgrimage, Tirt. But again, even though you may go to Tirt, like Hardwar, Kurukshetra, you know, Mayapur, but if you just go there to bath, then again you are bewildered, because the purpose of going there is inquire from the sadhus. Otherwise, this is a very heavy verse. Krishna tells in 1084:13, you are Saiva Gokara, you're an ass or a cow. Krishna is heavy. He says you're like an ass or a cow. So it's a fact. We're not asking people go take sannyas, live in a cave. No, we're not telling them surrender to give everything to ISKCON. No, we have to make a living. Give something, like I'm giving 40 euros a month. I'm a very poor guy. What to do? But I gave in my life first 500,000 to ISKCON when I was young. So now I'm broke, so I'm giving. But see, this is not even the purpose. The purpose is to become free from the Atma Buddhi. That's the real life, the real work. You follow? You cannot
Yes,
you cannot conquer Krishna. Oh, I'm gonna give, instead of becoming detached and from the Atma Buddhi, I'm gonna give money. It's about the same. No, no. You may have people who give 1 million amounts, but they are totally engrossed in the Atma Buddhi. So Krishna would be rather pleased that you work on this misidentification. That's which is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. If you have money, you have, okay, give. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't work on the Atma Buddhi, on getting rid of the Atma Buddhi. You follow?
yes.
We cannot replace this work of getting rid of the Atma Buddhi by giving money or by giving time, or no. That's nice. You give time, you give money, it's wonderful, but the real work is to get rid of the Atma Buddhi. Or Asad Grahat. Sometimes it's called Asad Grahat. Now let me write it down for you. Asad Grahat, it means the same. Asad Grahat. This is beautiful expression also. I think you will find this in, if I'm not mistaken, 755. Prahlad is saying. Let me see for you. Yeah, Shri Prahlad Uvach. Tat Sadhu Manye is speaking to his father. The boy is 5. He's younger than my boy. And his father is the biggest asur in the universe. The boy is not afraid. He's telling him, Shri Prahlad Uvach, Tat Sadhu Manye Sura Varya Dehinam. He calls him Asura Varya. Can you imagine you calling your father? You are the chief of the Asura. The boy is not afraid at all. He said, you are the chief of the Asura. Sadi Samudvigna Diyam Asad Grahat. This is the point. He's telling, practically, he's very polite, but it's very heavy with his own father. He's saying, my dear father, you have accepted Asad Graha. You accept this body and those bodily relationships as real. This is your problem, my dear father. You are the Asura Varya, you are the chief of the Asura. He's not afraid. This boy is very bold. So what is it? Then he's giving him an advice. He's giving him an advice. Hidvatma padam. Sorry, Ivatma patam ti. Grihamandakupam. He's telling, my dear father, you live in a well, andakupam. Andakupam means well. He compares his family life to the father to a well. It's very heavy, and boy. Then he goes, Vanam gato, yadarimuj ashrayata. Now, my dear father, you all go to the forest. Go to Vrindavan and surrender to Krishna. See, the boy is preaching the father, can you imagine? Usually it's the other way around.
So this one, Narad is telling Brahma?
No, this is the verse I just quoted. This is Prahlad.
Prahlad.
Telling Hiranyakashipu.
Oh, okay.
755. I look it up. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Asad Graha means the same. The Atma Buddhi, just like in 242. Huh? So that's the main job of Krishna consciousness. Oftentimes we go by the external. Oh, he's a nice devotee. He gave a very good class. Oh, he's a very good pujari. Oh, he's got beautiful clothes. Oh, he gives 1,000 amounts. These are byproducts. The real work is not there. The real work is, are you free from the Atma Buddhi? So this is, whether you are a woman, you are 5, you are 85, you live in the house, you live at home, you live in the brahmacharya, doesn't matter. And you have seen in 2, I was actually asking in the homework, there's a sentence, Prabhupada is very heavy. Devotion for Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachment. So, you cannot say, well, I'm very devoted, Prabhu. And you can see for yourself, he's still very attached to material attachment. It doesn't work. It doesn't tally. It doesn't, one cannot go without the other. It's very simple. If the guy is changing his car every year, he cannot proclaim that is detached from material attachment. On the contrary, you can see as he, of course, you are young, you may need to make a living, you have kids, but as we grow in age, we should be more detached, more detached, more detached, more detached. That's a sign of advancement. That's a sign of devotion to Krishna. This is the point of Srila Prabhupada. And then in 2, at the end, it's a long purport. It talks about Yukta Vairagya. So what's the meaning of Yukta Vairagya?
Yukta Vairagya is using everything in the service of Krishna.
Exactly. And you can see, Srila Prabhupada is referring to Maharaj Parikshit in 2. He's saying, at the end of the purport, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, you have to give up everything. But be careful. If you're not Krishna conscious, that's good for you to give up everything. Just like you have seen the prostitute with Haridas Thakur. You know the story?
Yes.
She had been sent by some Muslim leaders, Ramachandra Khan, and he paid the prostitute and he told her, you go there in the middle of the night and you allure him.
Yes.
How do you want to allure Haridas Thakur? Chanting 196 rounds a day.
Yeah, I liked it because, he kept on saying, okay, when I finish, okay, when I finish, and he never finished it. And then
exactly. And you know who is he? Inside of him, there is Brahma and Prahlad combined.
Yeah.
He's extremely advanced personality. And you know this, you have seen the end of the story. She kept on coming every day. And yes, don't worry, I'm finishing. I'll be right over. And then, can you imagine hearing the singing of Haridas Thakur day after day? How much she became purified? And then he didn't tell her, did you notice what he told her? He told her, you please sell all your stuff. She was a very wealthy prostitute. It's called a courtesan. It's a French word, actually. It's like deluxe prostitute. And extremely wealthy. So he told her, you give everything to the Brahman, you come back here. And she had heard the mantra so much, she was quite purified by then. Then she came back and she was wearing a very humble attire. And then he taught her how to worship Tulasi and chant. And then he took off, he split. So the whole purpose was to convert the person. He has that level, Haridas Thakur. And she got converted, she became a pure devotee.
Yes.
So Prabhupada says in 2, giving up everything applies to those who are not devotees. If you're a devotee, then you Yukta Vairagya. Engage everything. So you don't have, that was what Parikshit Maharaj was doing until he met Shukadev. But now he's going to a further, higher even level of virakti. Virakti means very high level of renunciation. Why? Because he's 60. And number 2, because he's going to die in 7 days. So what's the use of holding to your car or to your elephant? You're going to die in 7 days.
So one thing, Prabhu, I know Parikshit Maharaj was a king, right? So here, like Krishna says, you have to give up everything, right? But then he says, not the devotees. So even Parikshit Maharaj, he gave everything to his son before he left. Don't you think he should have given everything away as away?
Everything to
everything to the Lord.
Yeah, but see, do you know the formula of Rupa Goswami? 50, 25, 25. So I don't know the details, but remember, he's a king he's not only a king, Chakravarti is the whole ruler of Jambudvip. So he didn't give up his kingdom, he handed over the kingdom. To whom?
his son.
To his eldest son, Janamejai.
Hmm.
Janamejai is practically the very last good Vedic king. Because already we
Yes.
have Kali Yuga. Remember, Kali Yuga has kicked in already. Ever since the Battle of Kurukshetra finished, Kali Yuga kicked in. And it's going to be more so when you will see at the end of the first canto, we have seen already, when the bull and the cow conversed together and Kali got caught red-handed, beating the bull and the cow. This is Kali is already full swing. So his son will inherit you, and in order to rule the world, you need money. But Janamejai would be a very good king. But
Yeah.
now his level of virakti, Parikshit Maharaj level of virakti, is even higher because he heard Shukadev preaching to him for 3 chapters. And he find his belongings now disgusting. Before he was engaging, Yukta Vairagya, Nirmanda Krishna Sambandhe. But now he's dying. So there's no more of Yukta Vairagya. Now it's disgusted. Now I have to absorb myself 100%. That's the difference.
Okay. And Prabhu, I had one more question here. Well, not question, it's just a observation I kind of heard that before Parikshit Maharaj died, you know, all those sages that were there, he did all the things for the sages before his death, like the everything he had to give them in Dakshina, everything, it was all prepared before he left. So he did a lot before he left, that it was sure that they would get everything what they needed.
Exactly. I've got very good memory. Hare Krishna Maushika Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, so exactly. Way back, I'm surprised you remember that. It's amazing. It's Sutta told the sages way back, beginning of the first canto. He told them, you see, you should feel grateful to Maharaj Parikshit because before he died, you guys can go about 1,000 years sacrifice. He provided the bhog, the ghee, and of course those sages must be remunerated. He had even provided to them. So this is expert management. He put aside
Yes.
for them. This is Maha Chakravarti, is a Rajarishi of the highest order. The kings, the sadhus, will not go hungry. He has provided for them. Oh, they're going to be doing a 1,000 year sacrifice. I better put aside stuff and money for them, bhog, for the yagya, ghee. See how planning is it? Such a good planner. This is the level of management. So by all means, he's a Maha great devotees. Papracha chenam chemam evartham yanmam pritchatha satam maha Krishna nubhav shravane shradhano mahamanaha samstam vigyaya sanyasya karma tre vargikam chayat vasudeve bhagavati atma bhavam dridam gataha. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, does he want to read or should I read?
Up to you.
Okay, I'll read it. Oh, great sages, the great soul Maharaj Parikshit constantly wrapped in thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely acts of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna and asked all these questions exactly as you are asking me. So in this purport, there was the 3 activities of religion for the conditioned souls, and for such, it was called the karma kandya, right? Concept of life.
Karma kandya, same. These are synonyms.
And that people are mostly attached to such activities. And in the modern lives too, people are so much attached to this kind of sense gratification without religious sentiments right now. And Sukdev Goswami, he could perfectly understand that Lord Krishna is the absolute personality. And since his birth, like everything was thus fixed upon him. And everything was in karma kanda activities. And the Gyanis too, they talk about the Gyanis after many, many births, what happens to them. And the philosophers.
Yeah, good. Do you want to add up anything, Prabhu, in case, since you just got on the train, if you want to intervene?
This is
you're most welcome.
big.
No, Prabhu, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting to note in 3 and 4 that with no ambiguity, Maharaj Parikshit, admittedly, he said, yes, I was also into Kamakandiya. Because as a king, there is so many byproducts, by duties, I would say. Even other great kings, I don't know if you remember Maharaj Prithu. Maharaj Prithu is the emblem of kingship. Even Ramachandra, of course, he's God himself. So anyway, he was involved in this for the sake of his duties as a king. And now he got the point that, of course, he's dying anyway. He's got only 7 days. Janamejaya is going to take over. So that's definitely the mark of a Mahatma. It's called this Mahamana. Mahamana saying, Mahatmana Sumam Partam. So now, Srila Prabhupada very astutely in the purport, he tries to, did you notice how Kamakandiya reflects in modern world? There is an attempt, of course they are totally in the mode of ignorance, they don't even know where is Kamakandiya, but it somewhat reflects to some extent in the modern world. Did you notice in the purport, is explaining that? See? I don't know if you notice, it's a long, very long purport.
Yeah, it is very long.
Because all these purports coming up are loaded. You will see, it's a very loaded canto, very short, but extremely loaded. See, I don't know, it's beginning of the purport. Kamakandiya, we know what it is. What is it, Mother Purnachandra?
Oh, okay, Karmakandiya was that was it's a regulated activities prescribed in the Vedas that are called Karmakandiya. Conception of life and household are generally recommended to follow the rules.
Yeah, so
to enjoy the material propensity of both life now and next.
Yeah, you can see there's a synonym given in 4. Trevargikam, trevarga, trivarga. Meaning see, dharma artakam. It's not the full purusharth, moksha is missing, but dharma artakam. That's trivarga, that's Kamakandiya. What is the verse in the Gita? I mean, many, but one comes to mind. Remember? The 2nd chapter. Pushpitam Vacham 242, they are enamored by the flowery words of the Vedas. Oh, yes, so beautiful. I want to go. Nandan gardens, the girls are there. Somras, just like Ravani, in his heart, Somras was pumping, not blood. He had Somras in his mouth. You cut one of his head, immediately it grows again. Somras means it's like deathless elixir. You keep on drinking. That's what they drink in Tagalog. So they are enamored by this, and they are even willing to be strict and austere even for the sake of more pleasure up there. Yamimam Pushpitam Vacha, they are totally considering, yes, the Vedas is meant to enjoy better, to enjoy more Vedically, in the mode of goodness. I love it. I love the Vedas. You want me to be austere? Yes, no problem. Because I know I'm going to reap the fruits later. I'm willing to be austere like hell even. I don't care. They are totally extremely fruitive in their progress. But of course, Shukadev doesn't joke. He's telling, of course, it's commented here by Sutta, is reporting the point to the sages. Because that's the Mahaprabhu himself reported that to Rupa Goswami, remember? He mentions that. This is the state of affairs. Vedanishta madhye. There's a verse. Vedanishta madhye aldeka vedamukamani. This is the point of Mahaprabhu. He is God himself. Vedanishta madhye. Among those who follow the Vedas. We're not talking about non-devotees here. Non-Vedic. Vedanishta madhye. They follow. Ardeka mukamani. Almost half are muk. Muk means they only do lip service. They are Vedic. Oh yes, I'm very Vedic, But it's just lip service. Veda Nishida Pap. Veda Nishida Pap. Nishida, they do Pap. Veda Nishida Pap means they do stuff which is forbidden. Kare, they do. Kare means to do, to perform. Dharma nahi gane. They don't give a damn about Dharma. But lip service, yes. Oh yes, I'm very Vedic. Like anything. Even in those days of Mahaprabhu, he was there. What to speak now? Then he goes, Dhammachari madhye bahuta kamanishta. We know. It's like 7-3 basically. Amongst those who actually follow. So I'm not talking about lip service here. Those who are actually the karma, let's say the good karma kandi. The good. Very rare already, but the good ones. Mahaprabhu says, they are karmanishta, okay, but they are good. They are not doing lip service. Then he goes, Koti karmanishta madhye. Can you imagine? Koti karmanishta madhye. Amongst Koti means crore. Amongst crore of good karma kandiya. Ek Gyani Shrestha. Only one Gyani going to come out. Can you imagine? 719 also, Vasudeva Samamiti, Samahatma Sudolama, after millions of years. Samahatma. And now what to speak of a pure devotee? Then, that's even more rare. Narayana Parayana, Nakuta Sanda Vidyati. You know the verse, I think in 6th canto. Even you take now amongst millions of Gyani, just like 7-3. Among millions of Gyanis. Already Gyani is very rare. Ek Gyani Shrestha. Now amongst millions of Gyani. Muktanam api siddhanam. Mukta, they are realized. They are very advanced. They are Brahmabhut. But then, Shukdev explained in 6th canto, Narayana Parayana, to find such a devotee, Narayana Parayana, like Shukdev, Parikshit, Sudurlabha, Maha rare, Maha, Prakashatatma, Koti api Mahamuni, Koti again, crore, Kotishu, plural form. Among such Gyani, millions of Kotishu of Gyanis, very rare to find Narayana Parayana. Very, very rare. So you can see it's like a funnel. So that is why Krishna says in the Gita, Tregunya Vishaya Vida needs Tregunya Bhava. You reject the Vedas. You reject. You're not going to make it like this. Tregunya Vishaya needs Tregunya Bhava. Nivan Vanitya Sadvastu Nirogyak Shematma. It's not enough. It's not enough. Vedeshu Dolabam Adolabam Atma Bhakto. It's not enough to get to Atma Bhakto. It's not enough. And of course, we know what is enough, what should be beyond that. Bhaktimama Bijanati. Even if you're born a meat eater, if you develop love of God, that's it. Krishna Tadva Veta. You're a guru if you know Krishna. Even if you were eating dogs when you were a young person, you're a guru. So this is Krishna consciousness. It should not be alone. And the whole purpose is, even Madhavendra Puri Goswami, did you notice he's being quoted? I think I had enough, my dear friends. I had enough. We are in a very strict society, 15th century, India, 14th century. I had enough. See what he says? I had enough. I will be slandered. They will slander me. I know. But that's it. I had enough. That's enough for me. Any questions? We should not be lured by all these byproducts. And this is, anyway, I think we got the point. So let's move on. Rajovach Samichinam Vacho Brahman Savakyasya Tavanaga Tamo Vishi Riyate Mayam Hare Katayata Katam. Beautiful. So now Maharaj Parikshit is going to speak. Go ahead.
Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you want to go ahead, Prabhu, anything? So, Atma Bhavam, look at the Sanskrit. Atma Bhavam, this is Prem. Parikshit is on Atma Bhavam level. We have seen times and times again, he's on the Prem level, pure devotion. He was, you may say, okay, from birth, I know. But that make him even more fixed, more renounced, even disgusted, I would say. And of course, Prabhupada paraphrases Bhakti Parishanubhavo, Viraktir, you know that verse. What he does, Prabhupada, oftentimes he paraphrases verse. You are thinking, oh, he's putting his own words. No, he's just stringing garlands of verse. That's what he does. At the bottom of 5. Did you notice? He does that all the time, Prabhupada. He can paraphrase day in, day out. Ani Bhakti Parishanubhavo, Virakti Anyatra Chesa Treka Ek Kalaha. So, Pushti, Tushti, Pushti, Kshudapayo, you eat, you are very hungry, like I'm very hungry now. Yesterday I didn't hear Jalo, so I'm going to eat tonight. So, what's going to happen to me? Tushti. Tushti means?
Santush.
Yeah, Santush. Haritoshan. Yes, satisfied. Then Pushti. You nourished. You feel, wow, I feel nourished. I feel content. And then Shudapayo. Important also. Even if someone gives you a maha big feast after you eaten the first plate, no, Prabhu, thank you. I'm fine. You're not going to eat another plate, especially with age. It means Kshudapayo means, yes, eradication of hunger. I'm no more hungry. Thank you, Prabhu. Give it to this one. He just came. He didn't eat. Same with Bhakti. Bhakti parish anubhavo. Anubhav. Anubhav means direct perception. Virakti. Virakti is higher than Vairagya. Be careful. It's a higher level. Virakti means even in the midst of sense gratification, you're totally indifferent. Vairagya means you are avoiding, which is great. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. But Virakti Prabhupada is in Louvre Museum in Paris, which is the most visited museum on earth. 40,000 visitors a day. And he's watching very intently a nude sculpture of a woman. Beautiful. I mean, if that sculpture is in Louvre, talking about the masters of the world. This museum goes back 10,000 years in the past. 10,000 years. So he's watching very closely the sculpture of a naked woman. All the devotees behind are extremely embarrassed. They turn their face, they're extremely embarrassed. Prabhupada goes, can't you appreciate the creation of God? See, this is Virakti. He's watching the woman, the sculpture. He's not at all affected because he's steeped in realization. So that's the verse 11.2.42. Bhakti parishanubhavo virakti. See, simultaneously, you eat, you're nourished, you are, I would say, free from hunger and satisfied. Finish. All in one go. Ekakala means all in one go. So this is what Prabhupada says here in 5. Do you have any questions? Because what happens is ignorance is destroyed. Once ignorance is destroyed, you know you are no more bothered by it. Avidya Shakti is gone. Then you are no more bothered by the surroundings. So now you can relish Krishna Katha like anything. As long as ignorance is there, we relish, yes, but there's somewhat obscured. The relish is obscured by the anarthas. Why? Because after some time, say, Prabhu, okay, I think we should stop now. Because the taste is there, but after 2-3 hours, okay, thank you, Prabhu. I had enough. So we are getting there, but we become after some time, it's getting too much. So why? Because anarthas are still there. Ignorance is still not destroyed fully. Any questions? Don't hesitate if you have anything to say. So that's the king's intention, I would say. So he's, of course, on top of that, he's about to leave the body. So he's going to ask now, Maya Shakti, you will see. He's going to ask about Visarga. I told you. Sorry, Sarga. First primary creation. And of course, then much later, he will ask about, Shit Shakti Lila, like Govardhan lifting. But first, we are still in the beginning of Bhagavatam. We're going to hear about the workings of the energy of the Lord. The 9 first topics, Sarga, Visarga, Stanam, Stanam, Poshanam, etc. Okay, let's move. Bhuya eva vivit sami Bhagavanatma mayaya yatedam srijate vishvam durvibhavyam madishvare.
Okay, I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates this phenomenal universe as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. So here, Parikshit Maharaj, he is asking about the creation, that everything is born out of energy of the Lord. And we have learned that the very beginning in Srimad Bhagavata, Janamade Asyayatya. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know about the process of creation.
Yeah.
And in answering to this, Sukdev Goswami, it says that he could have gone to just 10th chapter and did a shortcut, but no, he started from the very beginning, and he even emphasizes who Krishna is, and he's the most independent one, and he's the creator and everything. And it also says, like, Brahmaji also confirmed that Krishna was the greatest, like he's the supreme course of all the courses. So here, like, they only talk about the creation and how it happened, and the Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha, because there is no difference between his body and soul, and they are both the power and the powerful. And they talk about the power and how it gets sense and in connection to Krishna, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So here, thank you, Mataji. There's going to be lots of questions, you will see,
Yes.
pertaining to Sarga. And of course, Shukdev will answer chapter 5, chapter 6, 7. And chapter 8, again, he will bombard Shukdev with lots of questions. And he will answer Shloki, chapter 9, and chapter 10. So now we could ponder why is he shifting towards, we know he's a pure devotee from birth, why is he shifting towards more, I would say, it's not directly connected to Krishna, it is indirectly connected. Krishna is Mahapurush, is Purushavata. So, but why, since he's such an advanced devotee, he could have carried on asking about the activities of Krishna, So why is it purposefully, starting from 6, shifting his inquiry to, phenomenal topics? Like it says Atma Mayaya. Atma Mayaya means my energies. I want to know about the energies of the Lord now. So why? We could say, well, it looks like it's of a bit lower topics. If you read the 10th canto, you can see it's dealing with Ashraya, the summum bonum, the shelter of the shelter. So why Parikshit Maharaj is doing that?
To show Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. Sometimes people, they think that demigods, powerful demigods like Brahma or Shiva, they tend to put on the same level of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah. Yes, so you're right. There's quite a few reasons, but one reason is because that's the way to go. Srila Prabhupada said, don't jump over, You may, Gandhi used to do that, read the Gita at random. You may do that, but I remember when I joined, I studied solely on my own Bhagavatam very thoroughly. It took me 13 years, one straight. And like I took practically hundreds of textbooks of notes. That was my individual study. And I was told, my seniors told me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go beyond the 4 cantos. I was very, new. I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was for years and years. And then I felt, okay, now I think it's enough. Let me go further. So, and then again, I studied with Bodhichan Prabhu for another 10 years in a group, which is even more conducive. But it's a fact. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly, he says you have to go from one canto after the other. Don't jump over. And then by the time you reach to the 10th canto, Prabhupada said, straight in the face. He said, you will become a pure devotee. That's one reason. Now, Jiva Goswami puts up another reason why Parikshit kind of shifted to Atma Mayaya, meaning the energy is now. Because due to Vipralamba Seva, Vipralamba Virahabha, you have to understand the level of Maharaj Parikshit. This is Jiva Goswami saying. The Virahabha of Parikshit Maharaj is so high that he wouldn't have been able to function if just to tone down the Virahabha that the pain of separation that he experienced from Krishna, being a Mahabhagavat himself, coming in line from Pandavas. He opted to ask about Atma Mayaya, the Lord's powers, to produce steadiness, no more. It is going to produce less bhav. He's so advanced. Let me produce less bhav. Otherwise, I won't be able to function. This is the level of Maharaj Parikshit. You understand, Nataji?
Yeah.
So we cannot even start to understand the level of Maharaj Parikshit. Just like Shukadev himself. Why do you think he has only given one indirect shlok towards Srimati Radharani in the whole Bhagavata? Why? That's a different topic, I know. He had only spoken one shlok, and it's still indirect about Srimati Radharani. We could ponder. She's the goal of life. Mahabhav Swarupini. Why only one shlok, indirect shlok?
Which slok is that, Prabhu?
Anaradita, Anara. Yeah, let me find it for you. 10th canto. Anyway, while I speak, I'm still searching. Because same story, Shukadev would have fallen into a swoon. He would have been so much in ecstasy. He would have, practically speaking, he couldn't have carried on speaking Bhagavatam to Parikshit. Those devotees are so high. They have to filter what they say, otherwise they're going to be hurled into a swoon of ecstatic love. They won't be able to carry on speaking Bhagavatam. So practically speaking, we know Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadev on the same level. Don't think they are lower. No. So that's the reason given by Jiva Goswami. You know that verse, Prabhu? Trying to remember the verse that of Shukadev in regard to Srimati Radharani in the 10th canto. I kind of forgot now. Anuradito, something like that. Thank you. I never learned that verse by heart. I should have. If you learn something by heart, it kind of stays, But
because I thought there was nothing about Radharani.
No, there's one verse. There's one verse.
But you said it's indirectly, right?
Yeah, but still, if I found it, I can break it down for you. Which one could? It's not in my shloka book here. Anaruradita, something like that. I'm trying to remember. I have to make a search for next time. Yeah, I have to make a search. Yeah. Anyway, that's the reason given by Jiva in regard to Parikshit Maharaja. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. Let's carry on. So where are we? 7, I would say. Okay. Yatha gopayati vibhu. Yatha samyachate punaha. Yam yam shaktim upashvitya. Purush shakti parapuman. Atmanam kridayam kridan karoti vikaroti cha.
Prabhu is gone, or is he here? Okay.
I am here.
Okay.
7. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player.
Yeah, so go ahead, Prabhu, if you want to
Firstly,
shed some light.
It first speaks about how the Lord uses his external energy
Yeah.
to inject the conditioned souls here in this material world, and also for the
So he's
creation.
referring to which expansion here?
Brahma.
I think he's
sorry.
referring to Mahavishnu here, injecting, casting it's called Shambhutadvar, when he casts his glance on Pradhan. You follow? He casts his glance on Pradhan. This is Mahavishnu, Karanatashai Vishnu.
For the secondary creation,
secondary creation will come much later. This is Brahma. Each Brahman, the way it is assembled, that's Brahma and his Manasaputra, but we are not there at all. We are still in Saga. The point here, which is quite, I would say, intriguing, the sporting spirit of a player. See, for Krishna, of course, Krishna is not even involved. Goloka Nivasati Akirat Mamuta. Krishna is reveling in pastimes of love. Krishna is not even there. Krishna never leaves Golok. So, but even Mahavishnu has got the mood of a sportive player. You know, when you play tennis or you do ski, you're going to do ski for many years, decades even. Let's say you are an athlete. The career of a tennisman is about 15, 20 years, 25 perhaps. So how many times they played tennis? But still they're sporties, they're sportsmen, so they do it. They love it, and also they make a lot of money. So in the same way, Mahavishnu has done it millions of times. How many times did it land on Pradhan? Who can tell? You follow? So he's doing it. For us, it's a big stuff. But for him, he's playful about it. You follow? He's playful. He has done it millions of times. To give us a chance, by the way. He's doing it out of kripa. Please, my dear Jeev, come out from this reverie. Come out. I mean, again, I'm throwing you down in this pradhan so you can wake up and get out of here. So this is the sporting spirit of a player. You follow, Mataji?
Yes, I'm following.
So this is, I would say, to be noted here. Now, Gopayati, it says, means to maintain. Samyachate, to destroy. So it's got many Shakti. Parasya Shakti, Vivideva Shuyate, Svabhaviki, Gyanabala Kriyacha, Tatashta Shakti. That's called Jiv Shakti also. That's Apurna Shakti. This is the same Shakti. Apurna Shakti, Tatashta Shakti, Jiv Shakti, that's us. Then yet, Bahiranga Shakti. What is it, Bahiranga Shakti? Bahir. Bahir Nishingo, Ridaye. Bahir. Bahir means external. That's Maya Shakti. Antaranga Shakti. Antaranga Shakti means Shit Shakti. So, he sports, just like an elephant plays with some lotuses, or you have seen the dolphins, they play. So Krishna plays with Maya Shakti. Kridam. Kridam means, Hare Krishna. Kridam means play, and Kridam means a toy. A toy. He plays with a toy. Maya Shakti is a toy. Even not himself. Again and again, Krishna is not there. Krishna is Antavadyatirekavyam. Krishna is, we discussed, Avigya is there and not there. Krishna is playing in Golok, but is expansion, Mahavishnu, even for him he plays like a toy. Mahashakti is a toy for him. He creates a form of himself. It's mentioned here. Atmanam Karoti. Can you see? That's in the form of Mahatadva. What is Mahatadva? It's a form of Mahavishnu. And then Mahatadva is going to break down due to the time factor injected also, and also the jiv, the propensity of the jiv to enjoy separately. Aparayamitas vadyam prakriti param. So everything is broken down further, false ego, breaking down according to the modes. Then you know the story, 24 elements, Pancha Mahabhut, and all these things. So that's Sarga. Then he's going to engage others. Is Manasaputra, then the key demigods, Brahma, Marichi, also in sporting. Kridaya means playful. Krida means toy, actually. Then he creates a form of himself, in the form of demigods, humans, animals. That will be secondary creation. When Brahma kicks in and start doing stuff, this is secondary. Saga is before Brahma start doing things. Brahma is not even created at Saga level. So it's interesting. It's called Shrishti Tattva. When we deal with Shrishti, creation or maintenance, destruction, it's called Shrishti Tattva. Shrishti Stiti Pralaya, Brahma Samhita. Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Hare Adbhutka Manaha. Durvi Bhavyam Iva Bhati Kavibis Chapi Cheshtitam. So this is, who is speaking here? Don't forget who is speaking, Raj Parikshit. So go ahead, 8. You can read out 8 if you want, anyone.
O learned Brahmana, the transcendental activities of the Lord are all wonderful and they appear inconceivable because even great endeavors by many learned scholars have still proved insufficient for understanding them.
Yeah, if you want to share anything, Prabhu.
Yeah, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says the portion of obviously one fragmental portion of his energy is sustaining all those creations.
Yeah.
And
you mean in the 9th chapter?
Yeah.
Majata tamidam savam ashagalata murtina matstani savabhutani nachaham tejavashitaha. This one? 9.4. Anyway, this is a good section. This is at Aishvarya Gyan, the Achintya Bedabed. He creates, but he's not there, all these things.
So always there will be creation, and the Jivatma will. There will be never a time that Jivatma won't fall. They will always.
Well, once you reform yourself sufficiently, then you're entitled to leave this world, even before the end of the Nimesh. The Nimesh means the whole display. Nimesh means extremely short moment. It's not even a second on the level of Mahavishnu. But during that Nimesh, it's Mahavikalpa, meaning the dispersions of all the elements. The Brahmandas are getting bigger and further away. Then it's going to retract everything, Nirodha, and up finish. Story is over. That's one Nimesh. Not even 1 second on the level of Mahavishnu. For us, We are in the smallest universe. Our Brahma is 311 trillion, 40 billion. For Mahavishnu is one, not even a second. Jamanta Lom, Jivanti Lom, there's a verse. So, yes, Prabhu, if we can make it, we're going to have millions of opportunities because just imagine in one life of Brahma, do you know how many Manus?
14.
No, that's
No,
one day, Mataji.
Oh, it's one
life
day.
is 5 lakh, 5 lakh, how do you say?
1,000.
500,000 4
Or 500.
of Manus. Manus live for 330 million years. This is the lifespan of a Manu. 330 million years. 30 crores, 33 crores. And we have half a lakh of Manus in one life of Brahma. So how many opportunities we're going to get? Millions. But still, if we don't make it, sorry, when he's going to move away his glands, Nirodha, everything is withdrawn within his abdomen. Everything, all the genes, all the matter, everything is back in there, in his raw form. So that's far out. It's inconceivable. And of course, Prabhupada has a long purport here. Did you notice? This was written way back in 1960, or perhaps a bit later, because Bhagavatam was written in 62, the first canto. Must be, I guess, ISKCON was already created, so it must be late 60s, the second canto. So in that verse 8, Prabhupada explained, the Lord exists with Dham, eternal name, quality, lila. Remember in first canto, in the first chapter of 111? Tadam. What is the end, the last line of 111? Let's go back up, then we can catch up. See, when you lose a verse, what you do, you go a little back further up of the verse. Tejo Varividam Yata Vinimayu Yatrati Sago Mrisha Damna. That's the line. Damna Sveda Narasta Damna Sveda Nirasta Kuakam Satyam Param Dimahi. So we can see in that line also. He exists eternally in the Dham with his names, quality, lila, parshadas. These are display of his different energies, his expansions. And that's very interesting. Prabhupada is quoting news from those days, 1960. Did you notice? It's quite unusual. Did you notice he's talking about Moscow wallpapers, newspapers? And see, it's quite amazing. This Russian scientists acknowledge there's millions of planets everywhere. So this is good. Talk about Martian, all these things. This is back then, they were discussing already on TV or newspaper about life on other planets, So we are adapted. It is very, very good point. A fish is adapted to, they can breathe through their, how do you call it, this, how do you say this, I don't know the term in English, I don't even know in French actually. They have a particular way of breathing, the fish. So every jeev is given a particular body suited to the environment, the planet where he lives. It's very well illustrated. It's called Vibhuti Bindam. Yeah. So let's see what we got here. This is 8. I think we covered it all. Anyway, I'm not too good today. I'm not too well. But I've got
A little more minutes.
pain in the eyes also.
Yeah.
It's really cold here. Humid and cold.
Okay, Prabhu, go and have a rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat something and take rest.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so from what I understood, we're gonna have what you wanted, a recap on no, not recap, sorry. We're gonna have the exam on Sunday, is that correct?
So if we have exam on Sunday, then what is the process?
It's very simple. I'm gonna send you on your email, respective email. You look at it. I'll be there in the beginning of the class.
Okay.
You read the questions. If any uncertainties, you speak to me. Probably I don't understand this question. I'm going to clarify. And then you're on your own, but don't look at books or notes. Okay. Once you finish, you send me back the paper and I mark it.
Okay. So we are given how long to answer it? Like few days?
Well, you know, usually you have student Bhakti Shastri, I would say a couple of hours would be okay. Huh? And I'm not going to go over more than the first few chapters. First,
Okay, and then please talk to Nishta Mataji too, because she doesn't know. And even I think Moshekar Prabhu doesn't know too. So talk to them about
I
this.
mean, if you guys are, I think you are into exams, Mataji, and I think Arinishta also, from what I understood. I don't know, Prabhu, are you into exams?
I will try, Prabhu, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so you confirm. Otherwise, I'm not going to teach on Sunday if they take the exam at home. What I'll do is
Let's try the exam, Prabhu. Let's try the exam because we are doing the course. So let's try to do the exam, that if we can do it or not.
yeah, and then don't forget you have to write an essay and also a verbal presentation. So half an hour. Let's say you can discuss your essay in the class because you wrote the essay, so you will be quite on top of things. And already you are lagging one canto behind. Nothing was assessed in the first canto. So I think it behooves you to do the exam. I mean, I used to do all the exams back then, you know. Because this way you have BV, you know, it's a big thing. You know? You have BV, you're conversant with Bhagavatam, no? Okay.
Let's try it.
Yeah, it takes efforts, you know. It's not going to happen out of the blue. Huh? Hare Krishna. We will meet at 5 on Sunday, my time, and I will send the exam, and then you look at it, we can discuss, and then basically we shut it off, and you're on your own, and you remit it to. But of course, you have to be honest, and no books, no notes, nothing. It's a closed book exam. Hare Krishna.